It's just really a great opportunity to staff us moving forward into the next generation of agents with people who are on board, informed, educated, online, happy, and ready to go.
The color of your shirt, plus the first object to your right, that is your superhero name. And today we're talking with Stan, the man who is putting capes on the next generational leader at BCD.
You know, you get stuck in the middle of a call and you don't have something to write on. If your manager's standing there, I'll find you paper, right? That's my job. I'll find you paper. My job's to help you succeed.
I'm Chika Eloy, and this is a conversation designed for BCD people with BCD people. On this show, we're running through the diverse cultures of talent at BCD Travel, and we're showcasing our most confident self-colleagues. So come on, let's go have some fun as we explore the different functions, spaces, faces, and the complexities across our world of BCD.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to this week's podcast, A World of BCD, where we are speaking with the Rocky, the man Stan Wilkerson from Pittsburg, Pennsylvania, an operations manager. Welcome to the podcast, Stan.
Good morning.
Now, Stan, I know that you have a diverse history in our previous conversation, so maybe we just start with your story. Tell us who you are and why you're at BCD.
My story started in the travel industry in the airline, and then I transitioned into the client side. And for a good portion of my career, I've been a corporate travel manager, basically a policy-based manager, and had an opportunity to come to BCD. And after my career as a corporate travel manager, of course, everything's policy-based, and you are the steward of your company's policies, procedures, and of course their money. But for me, it was a chance and an opportunity to have to change my way of managing people. Virtual teams, teams that were driven by customer service. And although we have policies, I no longer have the thump. I can't say, well, it's against policy. Well, now I have to say, now I have to reason, now I have to persuade, now I have to listen. And so it's, it gave me an opportunity really to, have to really reflect on how I've been managing people for years.
And knowing that your people are really tied to pretty, aggressive KPIs. How do you find the balance of, that there is the work, there is the process, and then there is the care for the people as you speak to? How do you find that you balance that well?
Involving them in the purpose, involving them in the wheres, the whys, the hows. It's for us. You have a policy and we have a procedure, but if you don't understand why it's important to us, if you don't get it, if it's not made personal to you, then that's a failure on my part. If we educate them to the point that they understand why this is important, then making it real for them is a much easier job.
Because you're making work about them. What's in it
Right.
for me, the employee, and how do I tie to, as we would always say, how does it tie to strategy? And maybe this is a good segue, Stan. When you look at your work and you listen to what John and Mike and Kays all say from the executive team, how does the operational level tie to strategy from the Focus 4?
Our agent is our tool. They are our biggest resource. They're our biggest asset. They're what makes our money for us. So they are the founding building block for success of any program or any initiative that any company wants to give us. If they want to save money, it comes back to my agent. If they want to increase their customer service, it comes back to my agent. If they want to decrease the amount of rogue travel, it comes back to my agent. If it comes anything that we want, whatever our goal is, it's going to come back to an agent. It's going to come back to an agent who understands, is in agreement, and is supported to get the proper result.
Fantastic. So, Stan, your organization is the Pittsburgh office. Maybe you can share with us who reports to who and where do you go up? In what vine do you travel up?
Here in Pittsburgh, we actually I report to Bill Sanborn, who's director of our center here. And then in turn, then he reports to Jane Shotley. And then we're under Tracy Mears' organization. We are, again, a large res center that was recently named as a education center of learning for BCD, which, for me is very exciting because I think that gives me an opportunity to, see the new blood at the first option.
Maybe tell us what does the Center of Learning do, because our listeners around the world may not have that close to them or have never heard it before.
BCD has just, in my opinion, really taken a leap forward. The death of the travel agent has been predicted for many, many years, and the actual supply of travel agents, travel support people, is becoming a smaller group of people. If we get into a situation where we have to go and compete for an ever decreasing amount of people, it's going to be a bad situation for us. It's time for us to grow our own. And the Center of Learning is exactly that. We have a training course where we're bringing in people to learn how to be agents, to supply our needs moving forward. And again, it's one of those situations where we're bringing people in, not all necessarily industry people, which was the way it was when I got in. You basically came from another part of the industry. We're bringing in people from diverse places in life and diverse jobs. We're bringing them in. We're going to be making them agents. And again, starting from the bottom up, they will be BCD agents. They will learn the BCD way. It's just really a great opportunity to staff us moving forward into the next generation of agents with people who are, on board, informed, educated, online, happy, and ready to go. So it's really quite a great initiative.
Stan, when you look at these new folks, and if you take 3 steps back, knowing the wisdom that you bring from the industry, what's some of the advice you give to people that are stepping into this industry? And for our listeners that have been here for some time, perhaps there's some crossover and knowledge transfer there too.
Listen.
Our great Stuart Harvey has said often in our talent programs that we were given one mouth and 2 ears for a reason, yeah?
Exactly right. If you don't listen, you will you'll absolutely miss what people are trying to tell you. And you have to start with yourself. You can't just jump on them and say to an employee, hey, what's wrong with you? Or how do I manage you? Although we have some very direct people that we have to manage, and direct is a nice word sometimes for difficult. And I'm not pulling any punches here. You have some very direct people, and you sometimes have to ask them that tough question, which is, what is wrong?
So Stan, when you think of your people, what most excites you about your people and your work with people throughout the day or throughout the month or throughout the year?
We do not leave the building until we have spoken to every person who works for BCD in this building.
And how many people are in that building?
We're over 60.
Woo.
At this point right now. You must, we speak to everybody. Now, sometimes it's very quick. How are you? What can I do for you? Personal commitment to our growth of the people. I think that the belief that people have a value beyond just their contribution as a worker, that we show that we're very committed to their personal and professional and their kind of growth within our organization, which kind of influences everything moving forward. They may know you're going to say the same thing you said yesterday. How are you? Is there anything I can do for you? It is an acceptance of your role, of their role, and then it breaks that wall there, and we have to agree that there's a wall between management and employees. I'm hoping that I'm putting that to the point where whatever it is you want to develop today, you got to lead by example. It's not the praise and parades and medals kind of leadership. It's very much you get stuck in the middle of a call and you don't have something to write on. If your manager's standing there, I'll find you paper, right? That's my job. I'll find you paper. My job's to help you succeed.
Stan, you seem to be really in tune with the development side of your talent. How do you manage and develop your talent?
I'm in the second part of my career after being a corporate travel manager, and these people are starting their first levels of their career. We're so eager to do exit interviews, right? We want to know why we lost that person. I don't do exit interviews. I did entry interviews, my entry interviews. So I went in and started talking to the accepted heroes in the office, right? You know who they are. You can go into every office and you can pull me 5 people off the floor that everybody they're the best agent, they have the best personality, they have the best everything, right? They're the best. We should interview those people. Okay, what kept them here? What retains them in your role? What did someone do for them? And I guarantee you will go back in their career and a manager's name will show up. But if you're looking at retaining people, if you're looking at interviewing people that have those qualities, you want to learn it from the people who are showing it every day. I move people on the floor. I moved seats. We had 2 new employees come over that we were fortunate to get, and I moved them so that they sit next to my heroes.
Wow.
Okay. I want them to be mentored. Yeah. I want them to be in an atmosphere of positive. Now, moving seats in a res center isn't always popular. People get comfortable sitting amongst their friends and that sort of thing. But it's important we put them not with a naysayer or not with someone who's leading them astray. We want them to show good examples and bring them to that point. And are we taking them from class where they all sat together and they're all new and they're all kind of afraid and they're all in one little clique, and when we move them out to the floor we put them in the same order? No, you salt them in. You salt them into your teams so that they're sitting next to people that either can help or reinforce or model or show, and you'll see a real difference. It's a kind of a forcing, that no one has come up with me and says, did you plan where they're going to sit? I can't find a time in my life where paying somebody more money turned them around.
Thank you, Stan. And I love the word salt. That's such a good blending term.
Salt, it is. It's the right word.
And I love this idea of sitting people that are just being integrated into your workrooms with the heroes, giving them their own cape and say, go fly with this guy or this gal, right, because they're gonna fly you hard and point you in the right direction.
Appreciate it.
Well, Stan, are you ready for today's speed round where I throw 5 rapid questions that you have no idea that are coming down the pipe at you, and you do your best to answer them as quick as possible? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Stan, question number 1. When I visit Pittsburg, what is the number 1 food I have to try?
You have to have a Permane sandwich from the original Permanes in the Strip District of Pittsburgh.
There you go. Question number 2. Do you prefer the smell of cologne or perfume?
Soap.
That's awesome. Question number 3. Stan, can you touch your toes without bending your knees?
Yes.
There you go. And that's from the yoga sessions I'm sure you're holding there at the Pittsburgh office. Question number 4. Your favorite name for a girl?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? My daughter will kill me, but it's Sweet Pea.
There you go.
That's
that
my
works.
daughter.
That works. And
that was my daughter.
That's awesome. And finally, question number 5, like we ask at the end of all of our A World of BCD podcasts, is what's the number 1 thing you love about working at BCD, Stan?
Right now, it's the potential for growth. We are growing. We're moving forward. There's opportunity for everybody. You can have it. You just need to help people get what they need. And it's an exciting time to be at BCD.
Well, thank you, Stan, for once again standing up and showing us what a confident self in a superhero cape looks like and how you develop other people to wear their capes as well.
We sure will. Thank you for having us.
Right. And for all of our listeners out there, I'm going to include Stan's contact information in the show notes. We appreciate everybody being here, and we will see you next week on A World of BCD.